Saleen, I'm disappointed in you. I really thought this one would slide on really easily, but looking at it, it's hitting the latch. I don't want to risk, I mean, that hood is just, it's too expensive to be chopping up on myself when I'm not really sure what'll fix it. I'm gonna contact my paint guy and explain to him what's going on. And I mean, he does body work like this, so he'll be able to knock it out no problem. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan, and I feel like something's missing. So we're gonna be taking care of that today. Doing something that's long overdue. So I've got my 2000 Mustang GT, and we had tried to put a Saleen style hood on it a few months back, and we're finally getting ready to take it to drop it off to get painted. So it's gonna be a little scary, something I've never done before, but we're gonna be driving to the paint place without a hood. I'm sure some of you guys have done this before and it's no big deal, but I'm terrified because I can only imagine, like, worst case scenario is something flying up out of the back of a truck, a rock, anything, just debris, and just going straight into the engine bay and puncturing something, and then it's gonna leave me stranded on the side of the road. This might be overkill and completely unnecessary, but I didn't want the actual hood hinge to come flying up and hit the windshield or anything. So I've zip tied it just so that way it's secure when we're driving down the road and won't go anywhere. I have the new hood loaded up, so it's a little scary just because it's very light and I don't want it to fly away as we're driving down the road. So we're gonna be going slow, but just a lot of variables to make me nervous today.
Into the future.
We finally got the Mustang back. So it's been gone for way too long. And before we get into exactly why and what took so long and all the craziness and chaos with that, let's just jump in and just admire how good this thing looks. She's a beaut. You hardly ever see anybody with this Saleen hood not on a Saleen. So I'm so excited. The fit and finish is actually really good once you're able to take care of the latch situation. So we'll get in and show you that in a minute, but man, I can't get over how good this hood looks. Let's start with the basics. We're just gonna pop the hood. It ought to be simple enough. Reach in, pull the tab, and then lift up on the hood. Well, not quite anymore. You kinda have to get under here and halfway cock the pull tab, and then get it just right in order for the hood to actually go up. So it does work, just not ideal at all. So you kind of have to cock this in the middle in order to be able to lift the hood, but it does go up. And then at the same token, to get it down, we have to pull this tab to the middle, kind of get down here, make sure it's lined up, it's in the middle of our hole, and then it'll grab. And then you just gotta make sure you push really hard. That's how you close the hood. Not ideal. Hopefully, to give you a better visual, kind of have to put this in the middle, slowly close the hood down, and it'll catch. As long as you got it right smack dab in the middle, it'll catch. Push it hard, and we're closed. So in case you can't tell or didn't notice, our crazy prop rod is back. So unfortunately, the studs where our hood actually connects to the latch up here, they aren't long enough to support our hood struts. So we've had to go back to the prop rod. So I really hate that. And I almost questioned at this point, should I have done hood pins? Since I have so much problem with the locking mechanism on the hood latch itself, and the fact that we're back to the hood prop, makes me really think I should have gone with the hood pins. So Saleen kind of all around has kind of let me down. I mean, like, I do love the look of this hood, but I just far expected fit and finish to be just a touch better. I mean, once you get it on, it's on there, but man, I hate that it's not 100% the way that I really wanted it. So I'm still very, very stoked on it. It's just little things like that just are disappointing for a company that I feel like holds themselves to such a high standard. So let's take a look though and see exactly what we've had to do to get this thing to latch. So what had to be done was this metal plate essentially had to be made. So all the fiberglass inside that hole, that thickness of the wall had to be dremeled down. But then once you dremel down that fiberglass, then it just becomes very thin and brittle. So when it catches the latch, it acts as though, you know, over time it's just gonna chip away and eventually break. So we had this plate made, and you can already see where it strikes, where it latches. So the plate works good. So the way that the hood is designed and the way it grabs is this little catch you have to kind of put over the lip, and then it catches underneath, so you know it's kind of locked in place. So that's what I was talking about when I have to open and close the hood. I have to pull it back just a touch, get this kind of centered up, so that way this little tooth will let go of our metal plate, and then that way I can bypass, since it's in the center, I can lift and close the hood. Our heat extractors, we have like this little mesh grill that'll kind of keep trash out of the engine bay. Here's a look at it from the underside. But that was the crazy part too, is they send you the grills, but they don't give you a way to attach them. So the painter just kind of had to glue them to the bottom side of the hood. For those of you out there, if you do decide to go with this hood, just be prepared. You are gonna have to modify it just a little bit. Again, with the hood latch, and then if you get the mesh inserts, you have to mess with those as well. And just know that the original stock nuts for the hood hinges, those won't work either. So just a little heads up. It's never a proper install unless there's a little bit of chaos involved. So I feel so bad for my paint guy. He's actually painted this hood 3 times at this point before we got the car back. So the first go around, went to the paint shop. They color matched, you know, to the rest of the car. He got that sprayed out, but when he went to install it, he unfortunately scratched the hood. And so he called me up and apologized and said, you know, hey man, this is what happened. I'd like to respray, you know, it's gonna take some extra time. No big deal, that's fine. I'd rather have it in, you know, great shape, the perfect match color. That's what I'm after. So he owned up to that. Second go round, unfortunately, for whatever reason, he got the same, you know, supposed to be the same paint mixture as he used the first go round, but he sprayed it out, took it out in the sun, and he's like, this doesn't match at all. Like, it's just completely different color white. So again, it hits me up. He's like, hey man, I apologize. You know, it's gonna be a little longer. And I'm like, that's no problem. We've got so much going on around here that I'm not missing this car. So third time's the charm though. So he actually did a few spray outs this time in order to match the color. And he did call me up as well and said, you know, in order to make sure that it matches, he would like to blend the 2 quarter panels. And honestly, if the car hadn't been sprayed before, but if you remember back, we were on our way to Asheville and the passenger side quarter panel, something flew up out of a truck or something and demolished that quarter panel anyway. So because that had already happened and it's already been resprayed, I wasn't concerned about it. If the car was 100% original, OE paint, everything everywhere, then I might have been a little hesitant. But I was like, nope, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and make sure it matches. So he's resprayed the hood for the 3rd time and resprayed both fenders. So to kind of blend it. So now it all matches. But I mean, he did a phenomenal job. It looks great. I'm so excited to have the car back. And just know if you do end up deciding to go with a Saleen style hood like this, just know that it's not as simple as unboxing and bolting on. You are gonna have to play with it a little bit to get the fitment right. But once it's on there, man, I think it looks awesome. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like the hood, hate it? Is it too much effort for what it's worth? Let me know. I appreciate everybody watching. If you will, subscribe to the channel and we'll catch you in the next one.